Namaskara to one and all. I am Manjunath Pai and you are listening to Venudhwani 90.4 FM KLE Kanaso. This is a special program. Today we have a guest. Guest name is Nishita Karikatti. So Nishita, welcome to the show and how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am very much fine. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello. My name is Nishita Karikatti. I'm just a visitor in India right now. My family lives here, but I'm doing my medical studies abroad. I just completed my first year undergrad and I'm planning to pursue medical school, hoping to become a surgeon.
What inspired you to choose medicine? Can you tell about that?
Ever since I started my studies, biology and chemistry always very much interested me. And my grandfather and a couple family members here are doctors. So whenever I would come visit India, I really enjoyed seeing how they work and how the hospitals are. I had the wonderful opportunity to go even to the rural areas and see how healthcare makes an impact in those communities, and that really drew me into the medical field.
That's a very inspiring thing to choose. With respect to that, I'll add on a question. What made you decide to study medicine in a foreign country?
I was born and brought up in the US, but medicine over there, it's a very diverse field. There's so many options, so many different ways you can go about it, and it's still a growing field. I don't think medicine is ever it's a very big learning curve. And so I think seeing the system over there, seeing the system over here, I really want to combine my interest in helping both the communities. And so studying over there gives me an opportunity to learn more medicine, Western medicine, and combining it with Indian medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, I think is a wonderful way to go about that.
That is so nice. So we were discussing about your medicine as this. What is your first experience with respect to India? Can you please explain about that?
Well, my family is from India. My dad and my mom were both born and brought up here. And so I really enjoy learning and seeing the culture, learning the different languages. There's so many, Hindi, Kannada, and there's also so many different aspects of Indian mythology, Indian religion, and just even Indian food in general. I really love how diverse and how rich in culture it is, and I really feel very connected to my community here.
Some challenges which you have faced up till now, can you please explain?
Yeah, my Kannada isn't that well, so I'm speaking in English right now, but I'm still continuously learning Kannada in the US, and I'm making every effort to connect with my community. I still do I read the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata. I love reading Indian scriptures. I love my mom makes a lot of Indian food, so that's been a way for me to learn more about how to cook. And I love learning about my culture.
With respect to food, your current favorite cuisine, which is that?
Oh, definitely Indian. I love Indian food. Indian and Italian food are my favorites.
About your language, once you are in this medical profession, you will be facing a number of languages. Who speaks with respect to that? How will you manage that? How will you cross that barrier?
In the US, we get to choose one language that we learn throughout our high school. And so I chose Spanish, and I live in a community that's very close to Mexico. So we get a lot of Spanish speakers there. So that's been a great way for me to communicate and communicate with the rural communities back in Arizona. But even over here, I've been shadowing and observing a lot of doctors. And so I've been learning medical terminology in Kannada and how they interact with patients. So that's been great as well.
How good is AI or any tool which you are using with respect to translating your language into a foreign language?
Yes. AI, I think it plays definitely a big role in translation, and it makes it definitely quicker. But I also use Google Translate, and then Duolingo is also great to learn new languages. And so anytime I have questions about that, I just look it up online, or my family, they're very well versed in both English and Kannada, so they make an effort to let me understand what they're telling their patients and what they're communicating.
Adding on to the question, with respect to language which you are speaking currently is English. Any number of languages which you know, can you just...
Yes, I speak English, I speak Spanish, I can understand Hindi and Kannada, and my Kannada I can speak, but it's a little broken, but yes.
That's nice. And you have been using all these tools for your upgradation of language speaking.
Yes. I use Duolingo. At home, my mom's and my dad speak Kannada, and so I learn it from them. My brother is actually learning to read and write Kannada as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different resources for me to use.
Kindly explain your current lifestyle and routine for our listeners.
Okay. When I go to college, I used to live in the hostel there. So essentially, I like going to the gym. So I always start off my day by going to the gym,
Alright.
being active, being physically work out. And then I go eat breakfast and then carry on with classes. Each day, classes differ. It's not a really structured schedule because we get to choose which classes we take. And so each day, the class times are different. But then after classes, whenever I come back home, I do lots of extracurricular activities, whether that's some sort of volunteering or community service within our community, or whether it's doing research at a lab or just meeting up with friends. I try to keep myself active.
How important it is to keep yourself active with respect to studies? Kindly tell, because people, they do study but they are not that active. They follow a sedentary lifestyle. As a medical profession you are in, kindly please.
Yes, I think being active is very important. There's only like so much you can study sitting down. It just like hurts your brain more and your physical body. So I definitely think at least an hour a day of physical activity, whether that's walking, running, yoga. I do lots of weightlifting, so I find that very de-stressing. So it's just another way for me to take my mind off the studies and just be more mindful about myself.
Dear listeners, you are listening to Belgavi's first community radio station, Venudhwani 90.4 FM KLE Kanasu. I'm your host Manjunath Pai. This is a special program. We have a guest, Nishita Karikatti, sharing her experiences. So now let me talk about your medical education experience. Any memorable experience you would like to share with respect to your medical education, please?
Yes. Yeah. In the US, the medical system is a little different than in India. So I'm aware in India you have, I believe, 5.5 years of MBBS, and then you'll go down to MD and then further down. In the US, the way it works is we'll have 4 years of undergraduate studies and then 4 years of medical school studies. So right now I just completed my first year of my undergraduate studies. And so I would definitely say right now I'm just taking a lot of the beginner classes. So I just took organic chemistry, physiology, anatomy. So I definitely would say those classes have been very interesting and really have made me more wanting to learn more about science and medicine itself. But one of my most memorable moments has definitely been the interactions I've had with my volunteering services. Mm-hmm. In my community, there's a lot of the homeless population is very big over there. And so there's this one place in Tucson called Z Mansion, and they work to give food and clothes to the homeless population. So I've been working with them, and that's been very memorable because I get to see the impact that I made directly on the community.
That's so nice. With respect to keeping up your studies also, any extracurricular activities you're involved in, and how is it helping you in your studies? Kindly tell us.
I've been doing Taekwondo for the past 13, 14 years now of my life, and I think that's a great way to get both my physical activity in, and it teaches you a lot about discipline. There's a lot of core pillars with Taekwondo, with courtesy, courage, respect, and all of that comes with a lot of discipline that this martial art requires. And it's also the patience that it takes to learn different sorts of forms, different sparring techniques, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of experience. And it's a great learning process. And so Taekwondo has taught me a lot about how it's very similar to medicine, where you're not going to get it on the first try. You have to keep trying and persevering. And I think that sport has very much translated into my values and my ideas that I use in my medical.
That's so nice. And what inspired you to pick up Taekwondo?
Honestly, I first started it because all my friends were doing it. And so I was like, let me just go try it out and see how it feels. But I grew to love the sport from then, and it's become a part of who I am today.
As Nishita yourself, can you explain about your friendship? Because what is the importance of friendship in a student's life? Can you explain that?
I think friendship is a very, very big part of who you become as a medical student. If medical school is very rigorous, and so a lot of people, you have to focus on your studies, you have to focus on all like memorizing exams. It's a lot of like rigorous coursework, and so you tend to forget that you have a life outside of school. And so friendship really helps you bring that humanity and like brings your personality out. And I think my friends are always there to support me, and they're always there. They're good study partners as well. And so to find good friends who are supporting you and who are with you every step of the way is very important.
Dear listeners, this is a special program. We have a guest sharing their experiences, Nishita Karikatti. With respect to your medical profession, I want to ask, this is an era where things are quick, patience is less. As a student, what is the role or how important it is to have patience in life? Kindly.
I think it's, especially in the medical field, it's very, very important to have patience. Whenever you're either diagnosing a patient or whenever you're doing a surgery, you have to take your time because a simple mishap could be a life. It's a life at cost. So patience is definitely something that medical students have to have. You have to be able to want to do, you have to have the passion, you have to have the patience to be able to take it step by step, make sure the patient feels comfortable, make sure that you're addressing every single possible situation whenever you're diagnosing a patient. And there's just so many possibilities, so making sure you take the time to give to each and every single of your patients, I think is very important.
And adding to that question, how important it is to be peaceful with yourself before facing the world? Kindly tell.
I think medical students, they face a lot of stress, and that stress can translate into their studies, into how their outlook on life can be. And so finding like inner peace, just making sure you're calm, making sure you're not taking things to heart. Not everything, like medical school is very important, but it's not going to be like the end all be all. So I think just even like taking 10 minutes out of your day just to take for yourself, whether it's journaling, meditation, just like sitting down and like staying calm. The world is like moving always at a fast pace. It just never seems to stop. And so just making sure you're taking time for yourself is very important.
To our listeners who are listening right now, and to the students who have decided to pick up medicine, you as a medicine student, what do you want to give an advice or any one line of word, please?
I think the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone is don't be afraid to try anything. Whether you think you'll get this opportunity, whether you think it'll happen, whether or not, I think everyone should still take that step because you'll never know the outcome. And there's nothing that could go absolutely horribly wrong. Like you might get rejected, you might fall down, but every step back is a step up. So I think you need to just keep trying and never be afraid to push outside your comfort zone.
Two important things which you have taken up, which is rejection and comfort zone. Each one question I am going to put out. With respect to rejection, a student's life rejection, do they face and they give up? You as a student, what do you want to explain about that?
Yes, I have faced a lot of rejections, a lot of failures in my journey to become a medical student. But every time that happens, there's always a way back up. It's just teaching you another lesson. It's showing you a different outlook, a different perspective that you might need to take to reach to your desired outcome. But just because you reach one failure doesn't mean that your entire career is over. It just means that will only help your career become even better. So I think you should still push through. Just don't give up on yourself, most of all.
As this is a community radio station, I would like to ask about community health awareness programs. How are they conducted abroad? Can you tell that?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways community health is conducted abroad. For example, I was part of a club at my college. It's called the Asian Pacific Islander Cultural Association, or Medical Student Association, sorry. And over there, they host like annual, like monthly health checkups. So there's a church that's like nearby our college. And so any people seeking health checkups or clinical like screenings, they'll come over there and we'll give them a free screening. And medical students are able to participate within those. those. There's also clinics in that homeless mansion that I was talking about, where they'll do like wound care and like they'll do like vaccinations and injections, antibiotics, all those sorts of treatments. But there's a lot of like awareness workshops that are also conducted abroad, whether that's just informing the community on how to be more hygienic, or whether that's giving out like kits that include because I live in a community that's very hot. The climate's very like desert-like, and so we give out a lot of like sunscreen and like soap and like toothbrush, just a lot of care products to maintain like normal, minimal hygiene for communities.
As a medical student yourself, with respect to your physical health also, there is a lot of talk about mental health. Shed some light on that also.
For medical students, yeah. So as I mentioned before, medical students it's one of the most rigorous pathways anyone can take. So there's a lot of stress being put on you, whether that's internal for yourself or it's external, whether it's your family, your school. There's just so many factors that play a role in students' mental health. And so I think taking the time of day, no matter how busy you are, whether you have an exam the next day, whether you have to look at patients, I think taking time out of the day just to give it to yourself and be able to open up to other people, and if you're facing a problem, being able to speak up for yourself and seek advice from others, I think is very important.
Dear listeners, you are listening to Belgavi's first community radio station, Venudhwani 90.4 FM KLE Kanasu. This was a special program, and today's guest was Nishita Karikatti. Nishita, we have come to the closing end of the show. Before closing, is there any closing message you would like to give to our listeners?
I would first of all like to thank Venudhwani for this opportunity. This is such an amazing way for me to express my experiences from abroad and seeing my experiences in India. I just hope you all enjoyed listening, and please always pursue whatever dreams you have and whatever career you want to take. But yeah, thank you.
That was wonderful, and thank you for your most valuable time and sharing of the experience, which was a brief experience.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Listeners, this was a special program. Keep listening to Venudhwani 90.4 FM KLE Kanasu. This is Belgavi's first and foremost community radio station. I'm your host Manjunath Pai, signing off saying Namaskara.